Hey guys, you know, when I did the Sally retrospective, and I even did the abandoned and unused concepts of when Ken Penders and Karl Bollers were, along with others, were writing the book before Ian Flynn came on board. The one thing I think I mentioned in both, mostly the Sally retrospective, and even Crystal Maiden 77 pointed this out, was Sally's behavior in 134 and what's known as the infamous slap. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have pointed the finger at Karl Bollers. However, there have been those that have come and said it's not entirely his fault, or basically it's not his fault at all. And one person gave me a link to Dumbsville's video called the Jonathan H. Gray Rant, the SJW who killed Sally. Yeah, that's the title of the video. Jonathan H. Gray Rant, the SJW who killed Sally. Now, everybody has a right to their opinion. And everything that Lance Jerkoff and... Sorry about that, but like I said, basically, Lance Jerkoff and Alex Hedgefox gave Dumbsville basically information aplenty, if you will, to where it seems that all the evidence points to Jonathan over Karl. Alex even said that Alex even provided information of a communication that he had with Karl, and Karl Bollers basically acknowledged that, yeah, I wrote the script, but I never said put a slap scene or put the slap scene that Jonathan put in there, as part of it. Yet you have Jonathan on his DeviantArt a couple years ago, or actually 6 years ago, coming out and saying the opposite. Basically saying that he was told to draw the slap as somebody slapping the taste out of someone's mother effing mouth. And basically that's what basically he said it another way, but it's basically along those lines of he was told draw a scene where Sally is slapping the mother effing taste out of Sonic's mouth. Now, one thing that Karl told Alex was Sally was going to ask Sonic the question about staying with her, and obviously he was going to say no. But here's where that kind of gets a little lost in the translation. Basically, when the scene occurs, the slap scene, Sally has the line of, I should have known you'd be selfish. That was the line Sally had when she did the infamous slap. I should have known you'd be selfish. So the question is, if that line was written for Sally to say by Karl Bollers, then technically he did kind of suggest the scene being drawn. Now, do I have evidence of that? Can I prove that? No. It's like Dumbsville says in his video, and it is true. Innocent until proven guilty. So we don't have evidence. And what's even crazier is something else that Karl brought up to Alex in the communication. That he doesn't have the script anymore, and that Jonathan might. Why would an artist, a freelance artist, have the script to an issue that, yeah, they drew for, and not the person that wrote it? That doesn't make sense. So there are a lot of holes in the entire in the entire blame game of who deserves a majority of the blame. Does Karl deserve it? Does Jonathan deserve it? I mean, yeah, Jonathan obviously, when he doesn't want to hear what people have to say, will block them on Twitter and use a chain block to block them and their friends. But guess what? Sometimes maybe that's because, they are calling them out on their BS, or they can see through their lies. I'll give you an example. Ian Flynn has blocked me twice. When I had my original BW Roses 98 account, he blocked me. And that was on Twitter. Or BW Roses 79 account on Twitter, he blocked me. My Twitter account before then, which I still have to remember the password for, he blocked me. My new Twitter account, I try following him, he blocks me. And why? Because a lot of what I've had to say in the past pretty much shows that a lot of the stories that he wrote was predictable. Heck, I even shared my Princess Sally retrospective on him, and even shared the Mecha Sally arc and asking what was the end game to it, and he blocked me. Even though he could probably see it, he blocked me. Mostly he blocked me after that Mecha Sally video and asking what was the end game. The reason being is because they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear from somebody that's going to call them out and basically ask them the questions that need to be asked. Or point out, the situations they don't want to see. Point out the plot holes. It's like with Sally. When she was going to originally be de-roboticized in 250, the question was, what was the end game? Where are you going to go from there? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And it's almost like they don't want to answer the question because they know you're calling them out. They know you're basically calling them out on the BS. And one could look at Jonathan Gray as being that same way. Him blocking some people because they don't agree with his political views. Or he's blocking them because they can show him evidence of the fact that the slap points more that basically all the evidence of the slap existing in 134 points to him instead of Karl. Now some might say he's blocking people because he's sick and tired of hearing it and he wants to move on. Or he's sick and tired of taking the blame for something that's not totally his fault. And that might be true. But we don't know about Karl Bollers. Apparently Karl Bollers is more open to communications, but is he telling us the truth? You see, the real question in the end is, who's to really blame? Jonathan or Karl? Because again, there's just too much evidence that points to the fact that both probably share the blame, but one is more open to communicate but not be truthful in communications, while the other just wants to move on. And maybe he doesn't want to talk about it anymore. We don't know. But whatever the situation, whoever is to blame, one thing is for certain. Karl wrote the script. Jonathan followed the instructions. So I would put it this way. Again, individually, we don't know who's the real person to blame. But I say both have to share the response. Both would have to share the blame, in my opinion. Individually, it's anybody's guess. But in my opinion, both share the blame. Because, again, it's a matter of he said, and who do you believe? But let me know what you guys think down below. I'm going to finish watching Dumbsville's rant video on Jonathan H. Gray. As it's titled, The SJW Who Killed Sally. And I will talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.